when the invasion happened and this whole thing started, I was guesting in Vladivostok, the other side of Russia, with my Ukrainian partner and friend. She's also a soloist with the Mariinsky. Her name is Caixeta. And we were dancing by there for, we had a week of rehearsals and 2 shows there. And, you know, I would see how not well she was. She was not sleeping for the whole week. Meanwhile, her family was in the metro stations. All this fear, all this mess started. Then I, you know, started feel like as if it was my own family, you know, there. So I also like couldn't really concentrate in the show of in Vladivostok. And we got to perform the show on the 28th of February, and we came back to St Petersburg. As soon as I seated on that plane to St Petersburg, I started to think about the whole thing, and I already knew that I just couldn't be there, you know. And it took me a week to actually decide to put all these 5 years behind. It was really not easy because, you know, Mariinsky gave me everything. I'm where I am today because of them, you know. It was the start of my career that I had there. I wouldn't have anywhere else. And I built also a relationship with my teacher, Viktor Baranov, back in Russia, that it was like a father and son relationship. So that was also hard to leave it there and just leave the country. But then, you know, I had the support of my family, kind of the whole world also, and also friends from the company, foreigner friends, and some of the Russian friends also that left the country. And on the 5th of March, me and other 2 soloists and great friends from the company left in a minivan together. And we went through Tallinn in Estonia. Afterwards, we kind of like went our different paths. Me and another friend went to Berlin, where, you know, I studied in Berlin and I lived there. So it felt like home somehow, and I had like people supporting me. I had love. That was what I needed at that moment. I was not in a good place mentally. And that was when I made the decision that I had, you know, life had to go on. And after a week, I was here in Amsterdam. And yeah, the Dutch National Ballet opened their arms for me and welcomed me, and also Olga Smirnova, the partner that I had for my debut in Raymonda. And yeah, it's great. I started ballet quite late. I was around 12, and my teacher back in Brazil, she told me that if I wanted to be a professional dancer, it had to be serious since, you know, the first day. And I didn't like it at the beginning, but I liked that challenge, you know, that I had to be good. And yeah, so I started going to competitions. I did many competitions in Brazil, and then I went to New York for the Youth America Grand Prix for 3 times. And then when I was 15, I went to the Prix de Lausanne, which was a really fun experience, I think. young dancers wants to go there, dream to go there and get, scholarships and job offers. And yeah, I didn't get to go to the final round in Lausanne. I was at the semi-finals, but I left there with 18 scholarships. And that was, it was quite, fun because I didn't really get a prize, but I got all these offers that, people saw like big talent on me. So I was not ready to win the prize, but the potential was there. And at first I went to Canada actually. And I stayed there for 6 months, and it wasn't the best fit for me. Then I just made a call for Berlin in Germany, which was, I guess, a better fit for me. And I stayed in Berlin for a year and a half. I had many great opportunities, worked with, excellent choreographers. We had pieces from Wayne McGregor in the school, Marco Goeke, Nacho Duato, and many others. Also, we got to do lots of competitions. And one of these competitions was the Moscow International Ballet Competition, I guess in 2017, which I went, and after the first round, I got to know from Yuri Fatiev, the director from Mariinsky, that he was interested to offer me a position at the company. And that was a big, shock, because I never imagined that foreigners danced in Mariinsky. I knew that there was Kim Min King and Xander Parrish, but it's like 2 in a million. Who am I to dance in Mariinsky? After a month I was in Russia. Pretty big family. It's not very the most traditional, because my dad left the country, and also my mom, they divorced when I was very young. I was around 4. So I have one older brother from that marriage. Then my mom got married again and had another son, and my dad had another 2 daughters. So we kind of I still have contact with all of them, obviously. And it's a big family. I guess Brazil and Berlin, I was both dancing lots of hours per day, Then in Canada, they were more careful with our health, and there was the whole academic schools, and the schedule was really, really clear. And in Berlin, I got to have more hours of dancing, more rehearsals, lots of galas, some interesting things that I would have back in Brazil. I would always be preparing something new. So that for me is what I was looking for. That I was used in Brazil to dance for more than 6 hours a day. So when I moved somewhere, I would have 1 hour and a half class a day, and it was like I wasn't spending all the energy that I had, So then in Berlin, I got to get it all back, and it was fun. When I stepped in Berlin, I got really emotional for the first time, because I felt like, oh, this is my place. I didn't know what the school was back then, what was waiting for me at the school, but I kind of felt like I'm in my place. And somehow I feel that later on I will even go back there. And when I first went to Russia, it took me around 2 months or even more to go on stage and perform, because there was some problems with a work permit. I was also just turning 18, so and the first performance was Bakshisarsky Fontaine. It's this Russian ballet, very beautiful music, and I got to do a solo in the first act. It's 2 friends, they call young boys, and it was to go and dance in Mariinsky, your first performance, already a solo, for me I was over the moon. I was ready to stay there and be the tree, just the decoration. But then, I got many opportunities since the first day. I think my favorite role in Mariinsky, well, it's hard to say because I have many favorites, but let's say the ones that marked my career, probably the first one, like my first principal role, together with Meina Gahisa, was Nutcracker. So it was, you know, these rising stars, both coming from outside of Russia, not Vaganova training, getting to do the leading role in their first year in the company was, you know, a big shock for everyone, but we kind of like did it well. Then I would also say that Don Q was really like special because it was something I really dreamed of. You know, in Brazil, I remember my teacher saying that it wouldn't be a thing that would like really fit me because it was very technical and I was not strong enough, that I would have to work a lot on. And then when I got to do, you know, I felt like, yes, I overcome that and I'm strong enough, you know. Then also Romeo and Juliet, it was really special. It was just before lockdown. And also with Meina Gahisa, we prepared it together. I mean, the whole story is just incredible, and to get to dance with that music, the story. I remember my mom was in the audience, so it was a very, very special performance. And I would also say that my last big premiere at the Mariinsky was La Bayadère with Marie Lyushkina. Also, it was something we both waited for a long time because they told us, you know, you need to prepare, and we were like waiting for when they would put the performance. And we danced for the first time in Mariinsky in November 2021. I miss my family a lot. You know, family is everything, and even after living away from home for 7-8 years now, I'm still not really used to not like wake up and have my breakfast ready and yeah, just or come back home after a tiring day dancing and having like my mom saying everything will be fine, my siblings and my dogs back in Brazil running around. There are 4 now. I didn't meet one yet, so one really big one, another 3 small ones. I'm excited to go back to Brazil this summer with my dog so they can meet the whole family. I got Coco in Russia. He's from Moscow, and I got it actually through a friend, a Brazilian friend that also got a dog during the first lockdown. You know, he was kind of bored, and he needed like something to make him happier, I guess. And he got also a Pomeranian Spitz. And after a year, there was the mom of his dog had another like 2 puppies. So he told me, look, come to Moscow and get one for yourself. Then, you know, I remember I went there for a weekend and came back with Coco. And he's 1 year and 5 months now. And we've been together for 1 year and 3 months. I actually travel a lot with him, you know. Also in Russia, I would always bring him with me everywhere. And he has a Russian passport, but also now a European one. So it's much easier. It was quite hard to leave Russia with him. At some point, it was getting so hard that I thought that I couldn't bring him, you know. And then I remember telling my mom that if I'm not coming with him, I won't leave. Like, I just can't leave him here. After all this time together, you know, he has been there for me. I come home and that's the family I had there. And I just couldn't leave him there. So, but then, thank God, everything worked out. I got the paperwork done. Very thankful for people back in Russia that helped me with this. got in Berlin. He got a vaccination, new passport, so all legal. Well, after all, the situation with the war, it was quite hard to move here to Amsterdam. I mean, somehow I was feeling still that my place was back there in Russia, and I really was not really understanding like the whole situation. I thought that wouldn't, that within a few weeks I could maybe go back. I had a, let's say 1% of hope for that, but deep down I knew that I had to make home here. And I'm so grateful for everyone here in Amsterdam that since the day I arrived, I had friends here before that welcomed me in their home, gave me a place to sleep. The Dutch National that opened their doors for me, and it's a time where all the Ukrainians, all the Russians that wanted to leave the country, all the people that wanted to get a job since the first lockdown, all people that are graduating right now. So there's lots of competitions, lots of people sending their material to all the companies. So I'm very grateful that Amsterdam had a place for me. They created a position for me. So, I mean, like, how could I say that I don't like it here? I love it. The company is great. The level is really high. Their repertoire is very interesting. It's very different than what I had in Russia, but also very interesting. And I feel like I can grow a lot here. And yeah, I'm still adjusting, but I'm happy. How could I not be? I have a home, I have a job, I have a salary. My family is all right. I cannot complain. It hurts me what's happening back there in Ukraine and this whole mess, but I could never complain. It's not like, for me it was easy to leave Russia. I had a Brazilian passport. It was just, I had to make that decision, and yeah. But I'm happy here now, starting a new life. As soon as I arrived here in Amsterdam in the Dutch National Ballet, I came together with the superstar Olga Smirnova. She was former prima ballerina from the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. And after our first class, we were introduced to the company by our director, Ted Branson. And he really wanted us to feel like home, So the whole company was preparing a new production of Raymonda by Rachel Beaujean. And and we were also included in the cast. And on the 16th of April, we got our Amsterdam debut together with Olga. And that was really interesting because it's a completely different plot of the story than what we had back in Russia. I didn't also dance Jean de Briand back in Russia, so for me it was a new role. And yeah, it was very, very nice, very interesting. Olga obviously was breathtaking to dance with her, you know. In Russia, I could only dream to dance with her, and now we came here and we get to dance together. So yeah, dress rehearsal, I got to dance with Anna Tsigankova, which is a principal dancer here from the Dutch National. Also someone, you know, that I would always look up to, a superstar here in Amsterdam. And yeah, it was quite funny because I was not really supposed to dance with her. And then her partner had some back problems and I was there, and yeah, we just did the dress rehearsal without any rehearsals before. We met on stage and it was really fun, you know, to dance also with a different ballerina from the house. Yeah. So now for the end of the season, the last 2 months, we'll be working a Hans van Manen program that will celebrate 90 years of his life. And yeah, there's lots of interesting new ballets. We had a few in Mariinsky, but I got to dance only one of them. And, you know, it's not really the same thing when you dance with like the choreography from the house. The style is completely different. So this month now has been really intense for me, lots to learn. I think I'm in 4 ballets of 4 different ballets, so really a lot to learn, but it's very interesting, you know, lots to add to my repertoire, and yeah.